Hello everyone, my name is Ismaila Bezlan and I'm from class MLG 1201E, and this is my video presentation for poem analysis. The poem that I'll be presenting is Emily Dickinson's Hope is a Thing with Feathers. Before we delve any further, let's get to know about the poet herself first, Emily Dickinson. Okay, alright, let's talk about Emily Dickinson. Well, she was born on the 10th of December of 1830 in Amherst, Massachusetts. She is considered one of the most popular poets of her time because of her unconventional style with unique use of language, punctuation, and capitalization. She's also quite popular because she chose to stay anonymous, even with her limited publication. She is considered as quite the rebel, as she defied societal norms and chose to live a life of seclusion in her family home away from other people. To note, she has composed over 1,800 poems, all mostly unpublished during her lifetime. Some of the most well-known of her poems are Because I Could Not Stop for Death, I'm Nobody, Who Are You?, the poem that I'm going to be talking more about, Hope is the Thing with Feathers, and many more. That's all about the poet's background. Moving on, let's talk about the poem itself. Now, let's talk about the poem itself. The poem, Hope is the Thing with Feathers, is about the depiction of hope that resides in the human heart. Emily Dickinson uses a bird as a metaphor for the depiction of hope, depicting it as a resilient, powerful, and comforting entity that is able to survive even through the toughest of challenges. This bird of hope isn't seen, but it's powerful and comforting, like a bird singing a tune that never ends. Dickinson describes in her poem how hope remains with us, especially during grim and trying times. The poem paints a picture of how hope is resilient, always there to support us, even when life gets hard. It's a beautiful portrayal of how hope stays strong within us, much like a bird that never stops singing its uplifting song. What I've just shared with you is just the basic summary as well as an idea as to what the poem is about, without giving too much away, because I think the poem itself is something that should be depicted by yourself personally, because it is quite a thought-provoking piece of literature. Alright, moving on, let's talk about the form and structure of the poem. So, now let's talk about the form and structure of the poem. I'll try to explain everything to the best of my capabilities as to make it easy for you to understand, as well as to ease the tension on myself. Well, first, the poem is in the form of a closed or fixed verse. The poem consists of 3 stanzas, each containing 4 lines, making it a 12-line poem. The rhyme scheme throughout the poem is ABCB, and it continues until the end. The poem employs a ballad meter, alternating between iambic tetrameter and iambic trimeter, reflecting the traditional ballad rhythm. Dickinson varies the syllabic structure within lines, such as between tetrameter and trimeter, creating a rhythmic contrast throughout the verses. And that's all for the form and structure of the poem. Now, let's continue on to the literary devices of the poem. Alright, well, for starters, the poem employs the use of metaphor, personification, alliteration, repetition, consonants, imagery, and assonance. Dickinson uses metaphor to liken hope to a bird, describing it as the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, depicting hope as an integral part of one's inner being. For personification, hope is personified, given a voice that sings the tune without the words. communicating beyond language and embodying an enduring presence. The repetition of consonant sounds like in sings the tune heightens the auditory imagery, creating a melodious effect that emphasizes the continuous presence of hope. The related phrases "and never stops at all" emphasizes the relentless and perpetual essence of hope, reinforcing its enduring quality within the human experience. Dickinson employs consonants in phrases such as "sweetest in the gale" and "so must be the storm," crafting a rhythmic quality and accentuating hope's resilience in adversity. Vivid imagery contrasts hope's strength in challenging times, describing it as "sweetest in the gale," highlighting its potency during turbulent moments. Through assonance like the short I in sound in "chillest," "strangest," and "crumb," Dickinson creates phonetic harmony, linking lines and maintaining a cohesive flow in the stanza. And that is all for the literary devices of the poem. So, we've reached the end of my video presentation. It was shorter than I had hoped for. So here are my concluding thoughts for the poem. For me, personally, I think Emily Dickinson's poem, "Hope is the Thing with Feathers," shows off her excellent skill with words. She is able to turn hope into a vivid idea, like a bird with feathers, and this bird symbolizes strength and keeps going even when things are tough. I think from this portrayal, it allows us to relate to it, especially when we're facing tough situations or unwelcome news. The hope we hold on to persists, guiding us through difficulties, ultimately leaving us stronger and wiser than we were before. Dickinson's use of words and sound like alliteration and rhymes makes the poem feel strong and comforting. It's not just about hope, but also about how people stay strong in tough times. Dickinson's poem, for me, is a deep and timeless look at hope and how we are able to find strength in our darkest time. Well, overall, the poem really stuck with me, and I think that many people can also relate to it. The poem itself has an appeal, and it's quite the thought-provoking piece of literary masterpiece. That's all for my video presentation. I thank you for watching, and I hope that it was both enjoyable and informative to watch. That's all from me. Bye.